a time and age where comic book-based films and shows are being released like nobody's business. In times like these, one can't help but wonder what happened to all the films that were deemed unworthy to be released. What about the ones that were never even put into production? What if they were released? What if?
Well, that was ominous. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third official episode of What If. Today, we are talking about it's not necessarily notorious because it's not like Batman Triumphant or Spider-Man 4, but X-Men Origins Magneto. That's what we're talking about. I am your host, Joseph Gallion, and with me, as always, I am joined with the Xavier to my Magneto, Mr. Chase Gallion.
Yes, except I'm not bald and paralyzed. Let's do this.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so to begin with, X-Men Origins Magneto, what would be your instant thoughts whenever you would hear those words as a title for him?
Well, pretty bad. Mainly because of all the bad stuff that came from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, that just doesn't seem like a good trilogy to start.
Lest we forget. Yeah, so originally the movie was actually called just Magneto, if I'm not mistaken. And the thing was, after X-Men Origins Wolverine was announced, they're like, we'll also put the title X-Men Origins Magneto as well, just so we'll have that, I guess.
Right,
for reasons. But yeah, it was supposed to be like a spin-off and a prequel of the X-Men series. So it would have taken place before, of course, even the first X-Men movie happened. Yeah. In December of 2004, and by the way, we're basically getting all of our information from the wiki. So if you really want to go in depth, well, just listen to the video. But you can also read this with us. But, anyway. So in December of 2004, 20th Century Fox hired screenwriter Sheldon Turner to draft... sorry, I just, swallowed something. Anyway. I swallowed some air. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good.
In December 2004, 20th Century Fox hired screenwriter Sheldon Turner to draft a spin-off X-Men film. He chose to write Magneto, pitching it as The Pianist Meets X-Men. Alright, well that's already super interesting to me, Pianist meets X-Men. That already sounds pretty cool. But in April of 2007, David S. Goyer was hired to direct. See, now this is where 20th Century Fox is already going wrong. They're getting Goyer involved. I mean, don't get me wrong, Goyer's a good writer. But judging by Blade Trinity, not a very good director.
Yeah, not a well-received
Which
film.
I might be wrong. I can check the IMDb just to make sure that he didn't, direct, in Godfather or something. But, which I doubt he did because, that was a while ago.
Right.
But yeah, so David S. Goyer was to direct the film. Well, judging by what we've got currently, from recent news of what David Goyer's been doing, would you want to direct this film?
I think they could have gotten someone better.
Yeah.
He does have all that stuff on
just
here, but I mean...
Yeah, it's not too bad, honestly. I'm trying to look at some of the... Yeah, he wrote Batman Begins, which is one of the best comic book movies, in my opinion, is Batman Begins. But Dark Knight Rises, which, if he wrote Dark Knight Rises, it's not a very good movie. Man of Steel, no. Krypton... Okay.
I'm going to laugh if you end up watching it and liking it.
You know what? I will absolutely lovingly eat my words if I love that show, which, here's the way Krypton should go. It should open up, show a little bit of the character, do a chime jump to Krypton exploding, and then the series is over.
Short season.
But anyway, back to X-Men Origins Magneto. So after he was hired to direct, apparently the script was set from 1939 to 1955 and follows Magneto trying to survive in Auschwitz apparently he meets Charles Xavier, who in this script would have been a young soldier during the liberation of the camp. Okay. So what happened is he would hunt down the Nazi war criminals who tortured him, and his lust for revenge would turn him and Xavier into foes. Which, already, very first classy, if you catch my drift. But yeah, so just based on that, would you see the movie?
No.
Not really. See, I would be interested, is the thing. Again, like, hunting criminals, it being a period piece. I'm a sucker for period piece movies. I think I've said that multiple times, but, you know, still.
Yeah, but the reason I would want to see is because they actually turned this into, what was it, First Class? Yeah. And I just really love the way they took it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is before First Class, you know. Yeah, First Class was great, and as much as I like Magneto as a character, I'm glad they went with what they did in First Class and, like, folded that into First Class, you know? I'm kind of glad they did that instead of giving him his own movie because, I don't know.
Yeah, and the fact, if you look back at the first X, Magneto and Charles, they are enemies, friends that just happen to be on opposite sides of an argument that's in base 4.
Yeah, true, true. They still call each other, like, old chum and whatnot, but, it's... Yeah, they're still technically friends, but they don't agree with which turns them into enemies, kind of like Captain America Civil War.
They're enemies.
A little bit, you know. The frenemies. In December of in May of 2006, Ian McKellen said that he would absolutely reprise the role, but the, he would have reprised the role using the computer-generated facelift stuff, so, like, they would have really de-aged him for the movie. Which, if you've seen X-Men: The Last Stand, which is the third X-Men film for those who are unaware, in the beginning of the film, you see they have this, like, they do a little bit of de-aging in the beginning of that one. It's pretty off, honestly.
I'd have to go back.
It's not very good, you know. It's just.
Look, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I think I watched it once and then said that I'd never watch it again.
Dude, I remember watching that at your house. Dude, this is like the greatest movie you'll ever see. Oh, okay. This is like whenever we were super little. Because, I mean, if it came... goodness, when it... Go. Let's see. It was 2006. So, I would have been 7. Whenever that movie came out.
To my 9, yeah.
Yeah, 7 to your 9. But yeah, so, of course, like, the facelift technology kind of stuff is just now getting really good with movies like Ant-Man and even Captain America Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
With what they did with Tony Stark and everything. It's just now getting kind of to the point where it's more believable. And, you know, with motion capture technology really being, like, catapulted into success by Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Or, well, excuse me, Rise? Was it Rise or Dawn? I think it was Rise. I think that was the first one. I don't know.
Rise of the Planet.
Being catapulted forward by Andy Serkis. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah, that stuff's on point. It really.
Yeah. I really need to watch those movies again. But, those are good movies. Anyway, but yeah, so it would have had the same facelift technology, and, apparently, the film, Lauren Schubel Donner, I don't exactly know who that is, stated that the film would need McKellen to anchor the story, which would have taken place in flashbacks. So, it would have been another flashback movie, which is something that Goyer does all the freaking time, where it's like partially in the present day and then flashback, and then present day, and then flashback, and then present day, and then flashback.
Right.
Which is, that's Batman Begins was, and that's what Man of Steel was. So, that's something that Goyer writes a lot. And he originally wrote a script for Doctor Strange that came out before the MCU started, and that was before he wrote the script for Batman Begins. And apparently his Batman Begins took a lot from his Doctor Strange script, where he goes, into the Himalayas and learns this stuff and everything. That's, his Doctor Strange script would have been originally. So it makes me wonder if he wrote the Doctor Strange script to have a bunch of flashbacks and everything, even though Goyer didn't technically write this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but whenever Goyer was hired in 2007, it was said that actors in their 20s would play the characters. So,
yeah.
So McKellen actually said, reiterated his hope to open close the film in July of 2008. So he wanted to have the film done in 2008, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which would have been that would have been a pretty good time, even though it would have been just right there after Ep.3, But the film was planned to shoot in Australia for a 2009 release, but it was delayed by the 2007 to 2008 Writers Guild of America strike.
Okay.
I don't want to say thank God for that, but, actually, thank you, Jesus. It might have been a really bad movie, and I'm kind of happy, because, if this movie had happened, we wouldn't have gotten First Class.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is one of my favorite, it's my favorite X-Men movie, period. I say this without seeing Apocalypse, so we're doing this to celebrate X-Men Apocalypse coming out, whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I say that without seeing Apocalypse. It might blow my mind, or it might be really bad. I don't know. But yeah, so if this movie had happened, X-Men First Class wouldn't have. So, that's a good reason for it not to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but in April 2008, concept art, including one of a younger Beast, was being designed. So possibly Beast would have been in this film, which, again, X-Men First Class had a younger Beast in it. So I don't. Yeah. I feel like that's what they're pulling, and this is more of just a lot of First Class apparently was that this script folded into a lot of X-Men First Class. But yeah, in June of 2008, the X-Men Origins prefix was also applied to Wolverine, was confirmed for this movie. And the project was seeking approval to film in Washington, D.C. by December of 2008. Goyer said filming would begin if Wolverine was successful. The story was moved forward to 1961 and involves Xavier and Magneto battling a villain. So, the story was then changed from the original script to them being around in 1961, fighting some villain, which it doesn't specify.
Right.
Which is, a much less interesting than the one that they had earlier. Right. Where he's hunting down Nazi war criminals. That's much more interesting and compelling than just and
that's the basically the plot for the first half of First Class.
Yeah, it was just Magneto hunting down Nazi war criminals just so he could find Sebastian Shaw, and the leader of the Hellfire Club. Again, that's a really good movie. Everybody go watch it. But so in October of 2009, Ian McKellen confirmed that he would not be returning for the role of Magneto.
Yay.
Citing that his age would be a barrier. So, already in October, the movie's starting to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, obviously, X-Men Origins Wolverine came out, and that
crumbled real fast.
See, again, like Goyer said, that the filming would start if the X-Men Origins Wolverine was successful, which it was not.
Nope.
No, sir, it was not. X-Men's producer, Lauren Schuler Donner, okay, so she's apparently the producer for X-Men. Okay.
Makes sense.
Stated that the movie might not ever be made at that time.
Mm-hmm.
In an October 2009 interview with Empire, Donner claimed that the studio has a wealth of potential stories, and they have to stand back and decide which ones to make. And Magneto, I think, is at the back of that queue. Maybe it'll get made in 5 years. Who knows?
Right.
So, even then, back in 2009, it looked very doubtful that it would happen. So, as fate would have it, on 26th of August 2010, Donner reported that the movie would be absorbed into the prequel X-Men First Class. And to quote her here, she says, "It kind of got incorporated into X-Men First Class. A lot of it." So, Donner announced on an interview with Crave Online. Donner added that parts of David Goyer's Magneto script will appear in First Class, which it did.
Right.
Okay, wait, apparently that was David Goyer's script, so wait, did he? Did he write it then? Okay. Sure, alright, I got you.
I got it. It's saying
so apparently he wrote parts of it. Yeah.
Like, just parts of the Magneto script was in First Class.
Yeah, but like David Goyer's Magneto script, so like maybe David Goyer wrote another draft of it. Maybe that was the poopy version, or it was the normal one, but with the flashback, because that sounds very, very, very goyery, which is apparently a term now, goyery.
Oh yeah, write that down, people.
Yeah, goyery, which I don't think is a very good term, considering all the very rude things he said about She-Hulk. Did you hear about that, by the way?
I didn't. No.
Yeah, he said some very, very rude words about She-Hulk, about the way she acts and the way she dresses. So, yeah. He said some rude stuff that I will not iterate, and he also said rude stuff about people who know who Martian Manhunter is, and insulted their manhood. And so, yeah. David Goyer, not a very cool dude. But yeah, so, of course, it was in fact canceled and was absorbed into X-Men First Class, which was directed by Matthew Vaughn, and starred James McAvoy as Professor Xavier, Michael Fassbender as Magneto. By the way, Michael Fassbender is the coolest person ever. Just want to say that because he's awesome. Anyway, and Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, just to name the top three, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chase, tell me, would you have been excited for this movie if it was in fact announced?
I probably wouldn't have been excited when it was announced, but then if you showed me a trailer or two, I would probably have gotten excited.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. What do you think about... where was I going with that?
I have no clue.
Well, daggum it. Oh, right, okay. So, are you happier now that it got absorbed into First Class, or would you rather have X-Men Origins Magneto?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm glad it got absorbed into the movie. It was a lot of character development on Magneto's part, too.
Yeah, definitely. X-Men First Class is one of the best.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, like, again, I don't know. Do you think it would have been better than...
Would it have been better?
Yeah,
it definitely would have been better.
But yeah, alright, so, anything else you really want to say before we wrap it up here?
Are you happy that this movie...
Yeah, I am, honestly, because if it did happen, we wouldn't have gotten X-Men First Class, which is one of my favorite comic book movies.
True.
What about you? Are you happy? I like the way you said it. Yup. No hesitation whatsoever. Alright, well, if anyone actually decides to comment, tell us in the comments if you would have liked to have seen this film, or if you're glad that didn't happen. If you want to follow us on anything, I'm Captain JSSG on just about everything. Twitter, YouTube. I don't ever post anything on YouTube. I don't know. I'm Captain JSSG basically on everything, Instagram, all that stuff. Chase, go ahead and show out your stuff.
Yeah, I am Chase.Galleon1 on, let's see, Instagram, Snapchat,
I forgot about Snapchat.
Twitter, and I think that's it.
Yep. Alright, if you want to follow the show, go and like the Facebook page and get updated about every single time we update or upload a video. I'm thinking about starting to actually be more active on that page, but I don't know. We'll see. And also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at Heroic Power ENT, because you can't fit all of entertainment in the Twitter handle. And subscribe, like, and comment, all that stuff. For Heroic Power Entertainment, I am Joseph Gallion.
And I am Chase.
Swear!